All right, well, that will call the October 18th Middleton Tourism Commission meeting to order. It is 4 p.m. First two items are the approval of the minutes from September 20th and then also from that a secondary meeting on the 22nd.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes. I did ask Mari a couple questions about it, where she had in there accepting the grants, and I think it just is clearer when it says approving the grant that we're actually committing the funds instead. Accepting to me could mean we saw it, we're going to consider it. And that there were two instances of that. And then the NA deal, when it was part of the meeting packet, it was easy to find out what that was, but when it's in the minutes and going down the line, so to spell out that that was a DART organization would make it clearer for people going back, you know, the ones who come and watch the meeting.
I've already made all of the changes, so as soon as you guys vote on it, then I'll upload the
So
those are the only, it's very little technical, and I'm an overthinker, so.
Those changes make sense to me. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Motion passes. Minutes are approved. Next item on the agenda are elections. Are we able to do that without? We are, okay. Well.
Yep. So, okay, since you're chair, I'll do it. Less awkward.
Perfect.
We just need a motion for someone to elect a chairperson. We'll start with chair and then we'll do vice chair. So if someone wants to make a motion to elect any of the members to chair, then we can vote.
Has anyone expressed interest in it? I know we've, you know, since you were vice chair one time, and are you willing to take it? You're good.
I'm willing.
That's good, because I know you had the job thing was kind of hairy at a time, but I will nominate Jim for chair.
I'll second.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Jose is not here, but I was going to go ahead and nominate Jose as vice chair. I don't know about his interest level. I've not talked to him about it personally.
I've done that before where people aren't there, and that's a good
They
idea.
can vote it in without even
Right.
being there.
Back of
That's what you get for not showing up.
Hey, surprise.
I mean,
And Kevin as well.
it'd be more upfront if you.
It doesn't. Yeah, I don't care.
The only duties are to carry out the meeting if Jim isn't here.
Yeah.
So, do we have two nominations? This is crazy.
He didn't. We don't even have to second them. I know that. So just yeah.
Would he have the ability to say no, thank you?
Jose?
Yes.
Yes. He after you guys vote, I will inform him, or Kevin. I'd inform the winner, and then the winner would have the option to say, I'm sorry, but that doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
So did someone nominate Kevin?
I'll nominate Kevin. And really.
Okay. Phil, and you're allowed to vote for yourself, I think. Is
Yes,
that how it works?
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'll do it.
Okay.
All those in favor of Jose as vice chair for the year of excuse me, October 22 through June of 23, I think is when we do our next elections.
And only because he's not present.
No, I totally get that.
Yeah, and I want to make sure he knows it.
And then all of those in favor of Kevin as vice chair. Okay, Kevin,
Chicken dinner.
you're lousy with power now. All right. And some committees have a secretary. Traditionally, the director of tourism has just served as secretary, unless somebody has a hankering to write minutes. Otherwise, I'll just continue to do that. No take.
I almost feel like since I was so picky, I should, but I'll just leave.
It's not a problem. Okay. It's easier for the director because of the on-base program.
Yeah.
You would have to send everything anyway.
No, I wasn't.
Okay, take it away, Jim.
Our next item is welcoming Angela Wolf, the newest commissioner.
Yes, welcome. Thank you. This is your first in-person meeting,
Yes.
but you were in our special meeting.
Yes,
Angela,
our special meeting.
To do grant requests. Angela is the GM. Oh, excuse me.
Area sales.
Yes, thank you.
The area
Um,
what?
Sales manager.
Area
For
sales.
3 of our hotel properties. If you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself, I mean, we've met several times.
Yes.
So
So I'm the senior area sales manager for the Hilton Garden Inn Residence Inn and Courtyard Greenway Station area. So I'm at any one of those hotels on any given day. And I live in Fitchburg, but we moved down here in April. So hopefully we'll find housing in Middleton eventually.
Welcome to the commission.
you.
Yeah.
yeah, nothing like throwing you in, you know, just a few months after you get here. But the Tourism Commission is a great way for you to get to know the area and the other players and more about what kind of resources we offer you too. So thank you for joining and welcome.
So Mari, if we have a larger event that would cover both properties here, then both would, and we had to vote on it, then both would be recusing themselves. So we have to make sure we have a
Yes.
stellar group.
So that's why I'll always list that in the meeting invite, that these are the things that have to be voted on and the people who aren't allowed.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And because we only have 2 hotel reps, it should never become a problem if they both have to recuse themselves as long as the other 4 are
For the
present.
rest of the commission.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
On to Destination Madison overview.
Great, thanks.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So
Sorry,
welcome
Alex.
Destination
Say hi to
Madison.
you.
I'd love it if you both would introduce yourselves since you have not met the commissioners in person. Well, some of you have met Jamie,
Mhm.
but it would be, this is great to have you in person. So I'll let you introduce yourselves and then everybody else can just kind of maybe, now you've met Angela,
Right.
but maybe you guys can sound off too,
Sure.
so that Ellie can.
By all means.
That'd be great. Do you want to do introduction?
Yeah.
Let's
why don't
do
you
it.
go first?
Okay.
Jim, Director of Sales, Marriott.
I'm Kathy Olson. I'm the District 1 Alder.
Kevin Bagstead, General Manager of Capital Brewery.
And new vice chair, sounds like.
New vice
And
chair.
new vice chair.
Yes. I forgot already. Struck the power and I forgot.
That's right. Thank you. I'm Ellie Weston Chin. I'm the president and CEO of Destination Madison. I've been on board. It'll be my 2-year anniversary in February, so just over 1.5 years on board. So thank you for having us here today. It is fun to be in person as opposed to always, in Zoom, and trying to get to know people that way is a little bit difficult. So thank you.
And I'm Jamie Patrick. I'm the Vice President of the Sports Commission, as well as I oversee our convention sales and services team.
Right to
Laura,
Or
I'm not seeing the
Oh,
presentation.
probably because I'm not sharing the screen. Let me do that.
So many steps.
Hi, Brandon. Thanks for joining.
Oh, we have someone else.
There you go.
Hey,
Hey, everyone.
hey, Brandon. See it now? No.
Yes.
We can.
Yep.
Okay.
Beauty.
So last year when we gave this update online, what we asked our team to do is compile really like an overview of what we did with and on behalf of Middleton last year with the money that was contributed from your room tax fund. So I'm just going to do a quick organizational update so you can see what we're doing as a whole of Destination Madison. And then we're going to jump into the report of Middleton specific information. So yeah, who's clicking? Yeah, so organization update. There's a couple of things we're working on. This is pretty high level, but we have been knee deep in working on our new 3-year strategic plan that'll launch January of 2023. We've been working on that for probably 4 months now. We've done a lot of different research and information gathering. We've sent surveys out to our partners and our stakeholders and our municipal friends. We've did one-on-ones with our board and our staff, and we've talked to every mayor you can imagine and just really gathered information. Then based on that, we took a look and said, what are the themes coming out of that? And, we're going to launch the new strategic plan with six strategic pillars. The first 2 are sales and marketing, which isn't a shock. They should always be in part of our strategic pillars. But workforce is going to play a big role in the new strategic plan. We heard that loud and clear from our partners of just the challenges with getting workforce still. We're sending out a survey today. If you haven't gotten it, especially you two, and you haven't gotten it yet, but we're sending out a survey. We are working with an organization called Destination Analyst to take a deeper dive into what our workforce challenges are. I've got national information coming out my ears, but I'm like, what really is our challenge here? Is it part-time? Is it full-time? Is it seasonal? Is it keeping people? Is it, what is it? And then we can take a look and say, what programs do we need around to try to help support our partners? So that'll be coming out soon, or the survey was sent out today. So you should have it in your box if you haven't seen it yet. The other thing is, well, of course, as everybody is, we're knee deep in 2023 planning and budgeting. So we're working on that now. We have our Finance and Audit Committee meeting next week, where we'll take our proposed budget and let them walk through it and ask us any questions. And then we take that through the process with the executive committee and with our board. We have one position that we're interviewing for, which is a sales manager position for Jamie. We were really excited because we actually added a sales manager into our sales department. And we're like, look at that, we're growing our sales department. And then one of our team members decided to move to California, where his wife is. So we are in the process of filling that sales manager position, if you know anybody, which I know nobody does because we're all trying to hold on to our employees. but we're looking forward to Jamie's team getting that manager position filled and, you know, getting that person trained and on board. Those were the three things, right? Yeah. So we can click to the Middleton update. And one more, please. So we kind of broke this out into different areas. So this is regarding the partners here that we have here in Middleton and the visitor services. But we have 64 Middleton businesses and community listings on our website and 182 Middleton events on our event calendar. So Middleton is very well represented on our website. Our website, we have passed the number of page views that we had in 2019. And that was one of our goals this year. So it gets a lot of eyeballs, and I'm really happy to see that event number because the events calendar is our #1 most visited page on our website. And so people are truly looking at where to go and what to do and, you know, things like that. And then your partners are active. They come to our meetings like the GMDOS meeting, our summer celebration, partner orientation. Of course, we distribute information about Middleton and our visitor center at the airport. And then I'm not going to read through every single thing because you can do that. And we'll send you the one pager of this that you can distribute to the commission members afterwards. So that's just some of the information that we're doing there. Next slide. So this is a brand new program for us called Madison on Tap that is launching this week. Capital Brewery is a part of it. We're working with a platform by the name of Bandwango. It's a platform I've worked at in my former destination, but basically it allows us to create trails. And so it's something we've been looking at doing. We actually looked at it right when I first got here. We weren't really ready for it. And now that we have enhanced our staff with more digital people, they're like, let's tackle this and get this done. This has really taken off for us. I'm so excited to get this launched this week, but the two folks we're working with in Middleton is Capital Brewery, and thank you, and Hidden Cave Cidery. And this is really fun for us because there's 30 on the trail, but obviously we don't really want people to go out and do 30 locations because we want them to be safe and all that. But what we can do then is start making mini trails off of that. So we're thinking about doing some trails off the bike paths. We're doing some trails in Middleton, you know, and that way, when people are like, well, I've got 2 hours to kill, what should I do? Well, great, come to Middleton and do the Middleton part of Madison on Tap. So we're going to launch advertising around this. We have a press release that's going to go out, but we've got a lot of money behind this to support it and launch it out. The hotels have been really excited. This is probably the first time you're hearing about it. Hope you're excited because it's an opportunity to say when a visitor checks in, what's there to do here? You could be like, well, here's an opportunity and you can go out and really visit. And a lot of our partners on here have created really fun discounts or buy one, get one free, or there's food or, you know, there's actually quite a few of ours that are offering like bring your child, which sounds weird for a brew pub tour, but it's like because we have juice and, you know, things like that. So we're excited to get this launched. And next slide. And then from a PR and media perspective, this is all the different places where we've brought media either out to Middleton to have an experience out here, or we've made pitches with Middleton in our pitch. And then we've gotten some local coverage on NBC 15. Two that I want to point out under the travel writers, one of the things that's been really important to us is incorporating DEAI strategies into our new 3-year strategic plan, and which is diversity, equity, accessibility, and inclusion. And Corey Lee Woodard came in and visited us this past summer. He's in a wheelchair, so it was an accessible travel writer, which was really interesting. We brought him kind of because we wanted him to experience Madison, but we also wanted to learn from him. Like, how are we doing? You know, like, did you have an easy way to get around? And he had nothing but great things to say about it. He said, he's been all over the world. And he said, I'm putting Madison in my top 10 best places to travel. And he's got a very active social media following. And he just keeps posting videos and pictures and so forth of things that he did here. So, you know, that's the gift that keeps on giving. One of the fun things we did with him, which he had never done before, but we took him to rock climbing. And so he got a rock climb and it was phenomenal. And the team there worked with him so well. It was really, he was just like over the top excited about that. And then Joey Amato is with Pride Journeys. So that's in the LGBTQIA+ diversity segment. And he, again, is already posting. You know, usually we'll bring somebody in and within 2-3 months, we start seeing them put stories out and things like that. Both Joey and Corey had started posting stuff the day after they left. So they really enjoyed their time here in the greater Madison area. Next slide, please. And then just general exposure on the website, you can see there all the different blogs where we included activities out in Middleton to have fun whenever you're in town doing fun things. And then on the social side on TikTok and Facebook and Pinterest and Instagram and all the different ways that we're on social, we've had those stories and our posts about Middleton opportunities as well. And now I'm going to turn it over to Jamie.
Thank you. And this is just to look at the number of leads and room nights booked that occurred in Middleton. So for Destination Madison, that's the convention side. And one thing that Ellie didn't mention that when we hired Samantha Brown, not the travel writer, the sales manager, she's also starting to explore the group tour segment for us and look at that a little bit harder. I know Corey worked really hard on that, and hopefully he'll continue to be an ally on some of those things. So we are looking at how do we engage with it. So I actually went to IPW this year, and she'll start going as we move forward, along with Circle Wisconsin, as we kind of test the market for us to how to support the existing efforts that are going on. Obviously, I don't think I need to explain 2020 with that little blip. And then on the sports commission side, you know, we had a really great 2022, and a lot of that was, you know, previous work that we've done with, you know, lacrosse, and obviously the Women's World Hockey Tournament that basically was here for 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah,
3 for some of them, about 3 weeks for some of them. But yeah, 2 weeks for all the teams, pretty much.
Yeah, so that obviously had a significant impact, and being able to go between Cap Ice and Laban was really great. So it was short-term business, which we're seeing in both sides. And we expect that to go through 24, that hopefully we can continue to pick up short-term business. So having a good relationship with the hotels to be able to bid on that's really great, as the world keeps getting shorter and shorter. So if you'd go to the next slide. And then here's some activity that what the Sports Commission is up to right now. We added Morgan Ogle to our advisory board. She's with Lean Feast, so it's great to have a hospitality person in there. Supports sports a lot, so that'll be nice. The Sports Product Development Committee. This is the committee that helps educate on sports events, and you know, as you're looking at doing different projects, you know, we want it to meet community needs, but also like, can it fit to bring tournaments here? And so this committee has been working for several years. We did a listening session throughout all of last year, and research and data were the two things that was asked for by all the communities that participated. So we started doing that was 2 years ago. So we started with a sports feasibility study this year, which is basically going to have identify what gaps we have in our marketplace and get some recommendations. So we're about halfway through that. A community survey went out to provide more feedback. And then on November 2nd, we're having a summit at Madison College. Hopefully you're all welcome to come to that. If you haven't got invited yet, please let me know. But we're going to have some case studies, do a check-in on the feasibility study, and get some more input before the final study is completed. So that just opened yesterday. And so we're excited about continuing that process. We are also looking at our sports commission branding. We started in 2010. We've had we're working with Shine on it. And, we started right at the beginning. Do we need to look at the name? We're going to keep the name as what it is because it's got a lot of equity within the sports market with both rights holders and locally. But, we're just going to look at a refresh for our branding. We've completed 2 morning sports reports. September 8th, we did the Legacy of Ironman, celebrating the 20th year of Ironman Wisconsin. And then we did one on volleyball with UW's coach, somebody from the NCAA, and a color commentator for volleyball, which was really well received. That was before the Kohl Center game between Florida and Wisconsin, which broke the sellout record. And it gave us an opportunity why the NCAA was here for that, to also show her how volleyball mad this community is. And that, so it was really great to have all that come together. We're looking at possibly doing one more if we can get a panel together for this year, but anybody's always welcome to come to that. We do have some pending business that just a snapshot bit on the boxing Olympic trials. We're competing against Cleveland, Houston, and Lafayette, Louisiana. So we've got stiff competition. We should know by the end of the month, but it's December 2023 and the athletes stay all over the place. And then a high performance volleyball championships, which again would spread across our whole community, which we've been trying to get for a couple go arounds, and hopefully we can figure out one of those years. And then if you advance one, we do have a youth grant that gets kids into sports. This is the list of groups that the committees have decided to support this year. We know that it's important to do it. I'll let you read through kind of what they are. The committee is also debating one with Central Cross Country Skiing. They want to look into larger options. We tend to have a lot of requests there. And so if we can just do it all in one. This is primarily funded from the Ironman Foundation. And then we have 2 fundraising events that we're doing next year, Burpees for Bucks, where if you belong to a gym, tell them to sign up. But basically for every $1 that's given, the trainer does a burpee. And then a pickleball tournament that we created last year, which was the largest in this state out of year 1. So that I think we're ready for questions.
Anybody have any questions for them?
Nice. It's awesome to see how things have bounced back, though.
Yeah.
Although short out, the volume's happening. It's just not happening as far out as we like for comfortability. But
Yeah, exactly.
It's still happening.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting there. So your property over there, if you're faring as well, but it's hardening.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So thank you again for all your support. We couldn't bring these here without your collaboration.
Absolutely.
And so we appreciate it.
Appreciate it as well.
Well, we appreciate the partnership too. And it's always fun to get the year-end results of like the travel writers and everything else we've been going through. And the promo kit for Madison on Tap is fun. Like we have that. So we'll start sharing that out and probably build a page to link back, that kind of thing. So if people are on our site looking for it. But yeah, I'm excited about that.
Good. Glad to hear that.
Sounds really cool.
And to see how well the software and everything works around here and how people react to it. I'm excited.
It's pretty shocking what those trails do. You know, you kind of put it out there and be like, this could be fun. And we did one in my former destination, it was our breweries, we have one winery, our breweries, our winery, and our distilleries, because I was in Tennessee. And it went haywire. We were just like, God, people really do this kind of stuff and they're really looking for it. And then during COVID, we did one of Victorian homes. In 1 month, we had 6,000 people do the trail, you know, so if it gets out there and gets promoted right, it really does make a difference for visitors and hopefully for our apartments as well. So I'm excited to get it launched and just see what it does. Yeah.
Really cool. I feel like there's so many establishments in Madison. If I decided I wanted to go on some type of a trail like that with my friends, I would feel overwhelmed and trying to figure out where I would start and where I would end. And this app sounds like it's exactly what we want to do, or that website, I should say.
It's always nice when someone else curates the list.
Right.
It's right there.
That's right.
I'm gonna be over in the
Who doesn't
east.
love a top 10 to get started when you're entering a town for the first time?
It's true. And I think something like the trail is an awesome way to bring all of us together, right? Because like, you know, there's some things that are just going to come to Middleton and there's some things that are just going to go over here, but the trail ties us all together. So even if they're only here and they're like, all I can do are these downtown ones, it's exposure for Middleton.
Yeah.
So this won't be our first trail. It's the first trail we're testing, you know, but I have big dreams of doing like mural trail and send them all over the county to look at murals. We want to do a Black History trail, talk about the heritage of our area, you know, so really the sky's the limit on what we can do. We just got to get it up and running and test it and tweak it and see how we can improve it the next time.
Yeah, there's great cross promotion opportunities. I mean,
Absolutely.
like Wollersheim is on it. So somebody who's heard of that has always wanted to go, now is automatically being introduced to all these other locations.
Correct.
That might not have looked. And been like, oh, just drive right through. So no, I'm excited about it.
Super neat.
Did anybody, and if you guys ever do have questions, you can always shoot them to me and I'll ask various members of the staff. We meet pretty regularly, actually.
Yeah,
we
we
just
do.
met with Maureen. So if there is any question about like how the partnership works or what people have been up to, just let me know. And if I can't answer it, I will shoot Ellie an email.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, thank you guys so much
Yeah.
for
You're welcome.
stopping in.
So we got a little bit of time for the lacrosse grant. If not, Brandon's online and can answer questions, but
Well, if we want, we could skip to the lacrosse grant and
do
come
it.
back to hotel updates.
Yeah.
Do we
Yeah.
want to do that?
Let's do it.
So Jim, why don't you take it away?
Brandon, you fired up over there?
See if we can find it.
I'm here.
All right, we're gonna jump to the lacrosse grant.
Thank you for doing that. It's very nice.
Oh,
No, we don't mind
pretty
waiting,
informal.
but yeah, thank you.
Okay, and I'd like to remind everybody, so as of right now, we have utilized all of our 2022 allocated funds out of the Madison Area Sports Commission budget. And so this would be coming out of the, we have a rollover fund. And so the Madison Area Sports Commission money that has been used or allocated in the past for canceled events has been rolled over. And so we have a fund balance that we can utilize for this, and we won't have to count this toward 2023. And I'm working on trying to get some reports out on that too, so that I can, so I could share that with all of you guys on it, like basically just where we are right now, where we've been, what events have been canceled. And then we can kind of discuss how we want to move forward on all of that. So anyway, just so you know, yes, we have tapped out our 22 budget, but this would come out of the rollover fund. Anybody have any questions for Jamie or Brandon? So we actually have people right here.
No, I don't. I'm well familiar with the group and know that they do pick up, do place a lot of rooms over on the west side here.
This has to be out of the rollover. I mean, it's for the next 3 years going forward. Like,
We have $35,000 in the rollover, so we might as well use it rather than taking it out of the 23 budget.
okay. Well, it'd be 2,500 out of 23, 2,500 out of 24.
Well, they're asking for 75 up front for a
Okay.
3-year contract.
So the
Okay,
full
got it.
7,500 would come out.
Mhm.
yeah.
Gotcha.
the room, that total room nights, the 500 under Saturday, is that supposed to be the date or is that, how does that factor?
Yeah, I think that's supposed to be the day. I think that's supposed to be 7:15.
Okay. And we talked about this being held in, is it Verona?
It is.
Yep.
And how with the new hotels that went in over there, if you still anticipate that we would get these room nights now that there's other hotels closer?
Yep, for sure. They have a state of play plan and they know that, you know, if Middleton supports this, that they need to put some rooms here.
Yep.
And they've been working diligently to make sure that that happens.
Yeah, that's why they always pick up it. Like Jamie mentions, the state of play options. So the organizers have a very vested interest in making sure that they spread these rooms around appropriately to those properties that participate. So
Yeah, those terms are, I don't hear them all the time.
yeah, basically what it means is the players don't have the opportunity to book whatever hotel they want. Yep.
But we don't, is that listed in, is it written in here that we, as part of a, that we know that, I would know that.
Yeah,
So,
no, it's
okay.
not.
No.
Okay.
Yep.
Because to have that kind of in writing would be a, you know,
Fair.
I know what it means.
Yes. So split. It's
Can
kind of
I
inside.
add something quick too?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
I know this was discussed last time, but just to update the group as well, because I know the question came up. We are applying for the same exact grant from Verona as well. So
Okay.
funding for the same amount.
Well, 2,500 a year to me doesn't sound like a lot if we're picking up several hundred room nights in a block every year.
Yeah, no, it's not a huge ask.
That's not a large grant for us to give out. And a 3-year solidified contract is a very nice thing for us to know that that's coming back every year.
Yeah, it's great weekend filler occupancy in the summer.
And we'll be receiving, you know, a post-event report of this is how many room blocks, and our hotels will be reporting out this many room blocks too. So
Yeah.
if something wonky happens in the first year where we don't feel like it was an even number, we will revisit that for year
Sure.
2 and make sure that it is an even split.
Do we have any other questions?
We have enough a body to vote on this year. You don't have to.
Yes,
recuse
he doesn't
yourself
have to
on-
recuse himself because they haven't booked anywhere.
Okay.
And they can book anywhere. They don't have to book in the Marriott or the
Right.
Hilton. They could book anywhere as long as they do.
I may
Right.
have to recuse myself. I do have a pending contract with them.
Okay.
Then we don't have enough.
And we don't have a quorum. You have a pending contract with this specific event.
With Connie Hayward.
Oh. Then we will have to postpone and do this either in November, or we'll have to call a special meeting.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Good to have that information up front. Thank you.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll actually probably have to send out a Zoom meeting because they're gonna want to know this right away. Aren't they?
Yeah.
So we'll need to meet via Zoom again. Excuse me. And just going forward, when we send out the meeting packet, if everybody could go through and double check, let me know if you have any conflicts of interest so that I can make sure we have.
Sure.
Because we can always move the meeting. We don't have to meet on Tuesdays if we cannot meet.
Right.
Did this just happen in the interim, maybe? Or I don't know, Brandon made a comment. about-
Brandon, when were we emailing over the weekend, I believe?
Yeah, the email from Connie came over this last weekend that she needed up to 200 rooms. So it sounded like you were able to accommodate that.
Correct.
Or we're working on trying to find a solution for them.
Yeah, so it's pending.
Okay. All right, I will do that. And maybe I'm out on Friday, but maybe we could do this on Thursday afternoon again. Like a quick 15-minute Zoom meeting to vote on these 2 grants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions that they need answered right now so that on Thursday, all we have to do is vote?
No. Good.
Perfect.
Right.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you too. Nice to see you.
Good to see you in person.
Indeed. Jamie, nice as always.
Yeah, it's been good.
Take some candy on the way out.
Yeah.
And everyone else, start eating it so I don't have to take it back to the office.
She bought like
Time of year.
She bought like a bag this big, guys. She went to Costco.
You're gonna get the trick or treaters, right? Or
We're hoping.
All right.
To participate.
Jamie, I'll let you know Thursday night how the vote goes. I'll send out an email. We'll either do it Wednesday or Thursday evening, and then I'll shoot you guys an email for confirmation. Thank you.
Hi, good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good
Thanks,
Yeah,
Brandon.
thanks, Brandon.
have a good night.
You too. All
Okay,
right.
and so we are going to officially postpone both that grant and the Flow Blue China grant. I'll send out a Zoom invite and we'll try to just get that rolled over. And if we can, we'll just do the Flow Blue China as well, because right now I have no grants pending for November.
Mhm.
And November was the date I was really worried we wouldn't be able to make quorum because it's like the week before Thanksgiving. So trying to get these out of the way so that one of my hopes for next year is that if we can get people in the habit of applying like certain times of year, we can have meetings where we're just voting on grants the most instead of having like one grant every meeting. So
we know it's guaranteed.
yes,
Yeah. Mhm.
because I mean, people will get busy, right?
Right.
Can't always make it to the meeting.
Yep.
And I mean, like the Flow Blue China, it could have been postponed, but if we're gonna meet anyway, let's just let her know one way or another. Okay, so
Back to hotel updates.
let's start from the, or do we want to start from the beginning or do we want to go to the CXC grant letter?
Either way.
Just cover that
Yeah,
section.
let's do it.
Did anybody have any edits, updates, changes that they would like to see in the stipulations? I sent this to Yuri because I wanted to give him some time to be like, yes, no, maybe. And we also had a call and he's fine with these. He's already got a plan for doing an annual event. That'll be an entirely new one, not just business he's bringing in, but one that he is hosting. His plan is to actually have quite a few a year, but our requirement of having one quarterly reports, he is happy to do that. He actually said, he's like, I'll submit them written, but if you want, I'll come to your meetings, once every quarter and answer any questions. Yeah, he didn't have a single problem with any one of these. And I told him that there was a possibility he might add something. So if there's something that you think that we're missing that a grant this size should require, I'm just trying to think here.
Did you float this by the city attorney? Or these are just?
I didn't think we had to.
I don't think you have to.
Yeah.
I don't know. we don't do this very often,
Right. Well,
Yeah.
some of our grants have had stipulations. I mean, we kind of have canned ones for reporting out. This one is just a little bit more specific just because we're committing for 6 years.
Yes. And most of the boilerplate language in this I got from Brandon with the sports. Commission.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is
And
stuff
that
that
was
they
a-
have attached to their larger commitments.
Yeah,
in the
I
past.
used quite a few of those, like
Yeah.
putting this together too.
Yeah.
And
It was actually really nice of Brandon. He reached out to me after the meeting and was like,
trying to
hey,
think
do you
here.
want some
Offered it.
stipulations to attach to that big award? It's like, yes, please. Yes, yes, I do.
I don't have a thing in here saying requirement of room blocks being in Middleton properties. I just realized that. Like a requirement of outdoor recreation sports center hosts at least one annual event. I could add,
I think it
And
should
all-
be stated in there.
Yep.
That, room
Oh.
blocks sought should be, first referred to all Middleton properties based upon availability.
Not just for his event though, right?
Right, for any events
event
that
up
are
there
hosted
is
there.
Yeah.
catch. We talked about that because he had some events that he was sending to a hotel that he thought was in Middleton because it's right there.
Mhm.
Like, no, sir. Look at my website. My
Yeah.
website
Yeah.
lists
That is Madison, buddy. Yeah, no, that's a good catch. That definitely should be in there.
It's like senior, if he wants to come to our meetings, I think that would be great.
Yeah, quarterly would be awesome.
Not necessary, but it's,
I think I can say all events that he hosts are required to have room blocks. Events that he is, not hosting, running. We can say you were required to have room blocks here. Events that he is hosting that the business is coming in, can he require that they have to stay here?
I mean,
Certainly
required
highly
might be tough,
recommend it.
but yeah, you can definitely recommend us
Preferred.
as preferred partner hotels.
Mhm.
So that's probably how I would word that is.
Okay.
Something tells me if they come, they will be asking for some grant money.
Yeah, we'll know they're coming, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll have a heads up, I'm sure.
Uh-huh.
Get 'em one way or another.
The one,
Well,
the one to borrow my parking lot.
Yeah, he's already
Any
discussed
stalls
that
they got up
actually,
there, whatever.
applying for grants for upcoming events. I think he has a big one coming up in January, February, where we're working with him on room blocks in, I can't remember which one it's called, but I think it's in February. He was talking about
Yeah,
a host
state
site and room blocks.
the
Yeah.
state ski championship.
With that, we haven't gone out yet, right? We're just right now discussing language with him because I don't think he's ever done an RFP for hotels.
Yeah.
So Laura's going to work with him on that as well. So I'll rewrite that little section, probably send it past you guys to make sure that it's written correctly.
Do we have to approve this, or can we say, you make your edits and bring it back? Or how do you want to?
Honestly, I don't think this is even something we have to vote on. I just wanted to make sure that I had at least the majority of the commission's approval that this is what's going in the file. So I'll make these edits.
Why did you, yeah, then when Jose and Kate get here, I wouldn't mind, this is a big grant, you know, having their extra eyes on it, and another time, it wouldn't be the worst thing for them to. It
Let's
doesn't
add
take
that by
us,
third, we can do it at the next meeting, just take a peek at it again.
yeah,
Okay.
With the edits in
Yeah.
it for everybody.
That's
that's
fine.
right, yeah.
Yep.
Because Kate might have a lot of good ideas too, you know, just.
She probably will.
Okay. And he also provided an update. So they were hoping to start building, I think, the foundation this fall. Or no, they're doing dirt work, and then foundation was supposed to start in like February and everything done this spring, early summer. They're not going to start the foundation part until a couple months later, but they'll still be open at the same time. He's like, the cost to start now was so much more than putting it off a few months, and it didn't move their open date.
Yeah.
And so, you know, what's the point? So
Someone said they're working on the parking lot though.
the parking lot will be done this fall.
Yeah.
So it'll be done by the time the snow season begins. And he's also looking at creating a first snow opener
Oh,
and a few other
it's
things
like the
already.
70-degree day.
That'd be cool.
Yep.
70-degree day. Oh my God.
Well, they've got Snowmaker. So once it gets cold enough to sustain the snow, they can start making snow.
Yeah.
Not that I'm looking forward to that, but a lot of people do. All right, so I will make sure, I'll make those edits, and then we'll like officially approve it at the next meeting, and I'll send it to Yuri. I don't think he'll have any problems with that one little addition.
Perfect.
All right,
Last two items for today, I think, are hotel updates and directors report.
yeah, why don't you take it away?
All right, I don't know, you kind of heard what I was saying with Jamie and Ellie earlier, that, you know, we're not booking quite as far out, you know, due to a combination of factors, but the volume is there, you know, right now. So, you know, business travel is still bad, or not, you know, still much depressed from where it was pre-pandemic. It's almost non-existent. I mean, I'll say that I think our largest account last month produced like 40 room nights total, whereas pre-pandemic it would have been 400 for the largest account. Just give you some perspective, but, you know, we're making up for it in group, we're making up for it in leisure. So, you know, we've had a little bit of traction in the last months from some local companies, just establishing local negotiated rates. You know, Marriott's got, you know, their big national accounts that are nationally kind of managed, that, you know, are for travelers that travel all over the country. But then, you know, we're kind of going after the smaller offices throughout the city to try to get some local accounts, regardless of size, that we wouldn't have went after pre-pandemic. You know, they wouldn't have qualified for local negotiated rate pre-pandemic due to just not having the volume. But at this point, you know, you got 50 rooms to send us, send them our way. The Monday and Tuesday nights, fantastic. Watch it, you know. So I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now. But yeah, no, the revenues are there, so that's good.
Angela.
I agree with everything Jim said. Just to dovetail on that event thing, before we always used to work in 9 to 18 month lead times.
Yeah.
And I think 90% of, you know, the last 50 events I've done have been on a 6 week or less timeline.
Yeah.
Even from Mask this weekend, they were asking for a block of rooms for homecoming weekend. So,
Oh, wow.
so, you know, it's certainly kind of put a little adrenaline in the timeline of how things go, and more staffing would certainly help that.
Yes.
You know, the communication cycles in the hotels really gets challenged by those shortened timelines. It is, as Jim knows, RFP season right now, so we're, you know, doing a lot of pencil sharpening and all of that to see what we can do to bring that business back to our hotels into Middleton, by extension, because they're going to come somewhere, so might as well be my place.
Or yours, yeah, but I mean, and to that point, you know, with RFP season, you know, these business travel accounts are generally, they're agreed upon either on a fixed rate or what's called a dynamic rate, right? So a fixed rate, we'll shut it down. You know, if your company's rate's 129 a night, we're already at 160 something ADR, someone at 200 plus a night. Well, we're not going to take your $129 rated room, so you won't find your rate available. We did a lot of fixed rates this last year just because we knew we weren't shutting anything down. We just needed business regardless of what the rate was. But next year, it's all, the majority are shifting to dynamic. So to me, and that's what it's coming from the buyer side, where they want the dynamic rates, which tells me that there's going to be increased travel coming out into the next year, which that's great, you know, and dynamic rates are better for us anyways.
Oh yeah,
So.
and we see it too with the amount of RFP active requests we get. It's not that they're just out there and we can choose to respond to them. They're asking us for rates.
Yes.
So that's very promising.
Yep. In some cases, we've increased rate too. You know, everything for this year, you know, is just roll it over if you can, because some companies are trying to hold you to a rate decrease, you know, so we're looking to roll it over was a win, and going into next year, we're looking at, like you said, with a little bit more of a keen eye and a sharp pencil, seeing, you know, where we can squeeze some more revenue in. So.
One of the good things about this year has been, because it was such an unknown, you had the ability to play with the numbers a little bit and see what would work and what would not. And so at one of my hotels, I really pushed rate, and I'm still pushing rate, and they're still buying.
They're still buying.
So I'm keeping pushing rate.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like, where does it go?
Yep.
I think this question relates to the hotel updates, and it's the city budget and the room tax, and how did Bill talk to you about increasing what we had projected?
So yes, so the city, we are looking for the tourism commission for our department. We are looking at 2017 numbers as our base.
Okay.
Bill contacted me and he wants to use the 2019 numbers as the base for what the city's portion of the revenue would be like. I told him he can do whatever he wants to with his budget, but I am keeping it at 2017 because I am not going to be held responsible for being so overdrafted and under revenue.
Did he have a justification for?
He believes that because our Q3 was so high, I mean, our Q2 was so high, our Q3 is going to be pretty high, that with the momentum that we have, he could see us going to 2019. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to be in the black. I mean, for the last 3 years, we've been far in the red. I've been doing everything I can the last 4 months to get our deficit down, because we went into this year assuming we'd be $150,000 over, and I'm trying to knock at least 50 off of that.
I would
just in the ways that I know we can, without like cutting services. I don't know if it's going to happen, guys, because this painting of the depot, they just came and they were replacing 3 boards, and it turned out to be more like 5 because they were so rotted, and they're handmade so that they look like the rest of them. It's going to be, you know, it was quoted at, I don't know, $1,200-$1,300. It's probably closer to $2,000.
Yeah, they were there a while today. They were pounding all over the building.
They secured all the boards, and they caulked some things that we didn't even ask for.
Yeah.
But I mean, just little things are like, so we'll see. But this is why for next year, I mean, if we can hit 2017 numbers, I feel like we could. 2017 numbers, I'm still anticipating that we're going to have a shortfall. Like, I think, what did I say, 65? In part because we want to do a 3-year strategic plan, because we're several years overdue. But I just feel like, I told Bill that I felt like 2019 was a wonderful thing to shoot for, but I feel like it's slightly too optimistic.
Okay, that's what I need to hear, because when nothing's been voted on, you had put in 75 and he wants 125. wants to up that much, and I want to get your feedback on that, Jim. On what do you think?
I guess just from an outsider's perspective, I would wonder, like, has Bill talked to any of the hoteliers to find out, are we budgeting 2019 levels of revenue for next year? Because if we're the ones that are making the money, right?
Right.
Like, he just wants to see it in a spreadsheet.
He
Talk to
he
the
has
people
been
that are looking
tracking
at the
year by
numbers.
year, and that's what he
But
and
a
I've used
forecast.
to forecast hours.
Yeah.
But and I told him, I'm like, I am being very, very conservative
Yeah.
because I am trying very hard
Yeah.
to make that much money for us and the city.
Yeah.
And if I overproduce, then that's great. If I underproduce, it hurts both
Right.
of us.
And it's different from sandbagging when we're coming out of a pandemic. We don't know what to expect. I mean, I understand wanting to be aggressive, and our revenue budgets are going to be aggressive.
Well, and I don't even have my budget finalized yet. So I still don't know if I'm going to have all the grant money that I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
And the thing with the grant money is I feel like it's going to bring us business next year, but it's more going to be for the following year
Well, exactly.
as people are planning.
And that's the thing.
And so we're not going to see a
Right.
result from this new program for a couple of years, and I'm hoping to keep building it. We did get the cross-country money secured.
Good.
So I've already added 50 grand to destination partnership because that's where that's going to come out of.
Good.
So that budget went from 75 to $175,000,
Yeah.
but 50 grand for the next 6 years is already taken. So it's not like we've plumped up that program.
Right.
So that's where I am. I don't want to sound negative because travel is going up, but gas prices, even at their worst, people were still traveling. Then they went down and people were really traveling. Now they're anticipated to go back up over the winter season, which it generally does. I don't expect a fabulous Q4 for anyone because of that.
Wow.
But for us too, with Q1, we don't have a lot of business secured yet for Q1.
No, across. I mean, and that's what would have been my call, or my idea if I was him, like, find out how the hotels are doing to their crossover goals for 2023. You know, like, are you on pace to hit your crossover goal? Meaning, am I going to end the year with what we had targeted with business on the books for 23? Because if I am, then there's a good chance that we'll meet or exceed our revenue budget. But if we're, say, falling behind, and so for instance, my property in particular, right, tons of meeting space, so we can stay busy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday without business travel. We can fill in with group. I can sell the entire hotel to a Smurf group or an association, and I don't need those 30 BT rooms that we might have had those nights, business travel BT. But with the other properties around, a lot of Angela's property being select service, I haven't paid attention to many of your, the nuts and bolts in the Star Report, but I would imagine that if there's not something citywide going on, Mondays and Tuesdays are probably hurting for you guys right now.
Sometimes.
At some of the properties, I would think. So that's all I'm saying is that's 2 days out of the week, and then probably include Sunday in that, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, where, we're call us 300 rooms, and there's what, 1,200 rooms in Middleton?
1,140 something.
Right, so
Roughly,
we're
yeah.
a quarter,
Give or take.
right?
Yeah.
You can fill that way, but if 3/4 of your hotel rooms are going to somewhat struggle to organically fill on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, like they historically would. I mean, the Fairfield and all those properties across the street kick our ass in the Star Report pre-pandemic all the time. We could never win, but we are getting more than our fair share right now because of our ability to book group. So I guess the moral of that story, or the soup, right, is that if 3/4 of your rooms would normally fill 90% Sunday, Monday, Tuesday with transient, and they're only going to hit 50 or 60, that's going to change your revenues, right?
And
leisure travel will come back on the weekends all you want, but it doesn't happen Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
And this is why it took 2.5 months for me to finally land on what I wanted to budget us for,
Yeah.
because everybody, you can't, there's no data for me to look at. Like, people keep saying pre-pandemic 2019. I like comparing the numbers because it shows that we're rebounding.
Yep.
I can't use any of that information as my benchmark.
Right.
Really, this year is our new benchmark.
Yep.
Like, can we do better than 22? Because 22 was good.
Yep.
But it's really hard to tell how 23 is going to look in comparison. Or is this kind of where we're going to be?
Yeah.
Are we going to go up?
Yep.
And that's why we want to invest more money into sports and into group travel
Yep.
and all of these things. And we're not cutting down a penny on leisure. We're adding
Yep.
to it,
Yep.
because those 3-day weekends are what's propping us up.
Now they're talking about leisure travel.
Yes,
business
exactly.
My new
Yeah.
favorite word.
Yeah.
We
Leisure.
used to
Leisure.
always
So
advertise
business
heavy in
travelers
leisure,
coming and
but
staying on extended for leisure.
now it's a much bigger thing for us, right?
It is.
Yeah.
So
Not
what I would
business?
say,
Well, can I add another wrench to your calculations here, just so you're aware? All three of my properties are going through full renovations this winter. So every property is going to be a third inventory down all at the same time. So
Yeah.
basically
This is
Middleton
good.
is losing
you're
a
gonna-
whole hotel.
You're gonna want to
Oh,
tell Bill
There's
that.
your,
that's
that's
going
what you
to
say,
be-
like.
I was just gonna say,
So that-
also
yeah.
thinking back to 19, obviously, we were under renovation the entire year. So I was going to say before
Yeah.
we learned that, okay, maybe Bill's not too far off base because we were at 65%,
right, but we added a hotel then, like
Sure.
the very next year,
Yeah.
and then another hotel.
Yeah.
So it's also hard when you're like going by
right,
that.
inventory levels are changing.
But what I'd say to answer your question, Kathy, is I am keeping our numbers at 2017. The city can budget however they choose. But at the end of the year, if the finance committee is saying tourism did not reach the
Right,
revenue
well-
that it was anticipated, I will say we were going by the 2017.
What I
numbers.
will say in this meeting is then we just had the tourism meeting, the hotel reps, they think that's a very aggressive number. And,
And I know why they want to. They want to be
know.
optimistic because we're looking.
but
for-
it's very aggressive and the 2017 would
They need to be
maybe.
optimistic and
Construction part.
The what? Yeah, and what are the
Renovation
three
construction.
properties you have?
Three
that-
properties. under-
Hilton Garden Inn, Residence Inn, and Courtyard. On the plus side, when we come out of that and
It's gonna be
Your
gorgeous.
rates are
Middleton
gonna
has three
be.
brand new hotels.
Exactly,
Well,
yeah.
Thank you for doing it in winter. It was never our strong selling point anyway.
Well, and I looked at 2022 numbers when we were talking about this and I was like, I still think I could beat
So if
year
you
over
can
year
get-
occupancy.
Right.
Whatever
17,
happened at
that'd
the
be a
beginning
big
of
win to get under
2022
those
was not great.
circumstances.
Yeah.
Oh, the changeover.
Yeah, and just, I think we're still just close enough to COVID that it was like,
Well, we were
wasn't
still
back yet.
masking in
Yeah,
March.
yeah,
People
it was,
forget that. And when I
Right.
tell people back home, I'm like, guys, we only stopped masking last March. Their minds are blown.
Yeah, I thought you guys were going under construction much earlier than that by the rates that were out there when it first became GF. I started looking at some of your websites.
When I got there in April, I
$8.99
was
rate at
like,
the Fairfield.
are
I'm
we
like,
a
what is going on?
Baymont? What is going on?
Yeah, and then there's, yeah, and that was the other thing.
Okay, so and Kathy,
Yeah.
if you want, I can attend finance tonight. If that would help take. us your
That's
question.
fine. I'll, that's what I plan on saying and then saying what these properties, if they get 2017 numbers, that'll be a win.
Oh,
Right,
I-
absolutely.
I will throw you all a little party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we hit 2017 numbers, then and again, we are still anticipating a slight deficit for that, but still at like 60, 70 grand or whatever we're at right now. A little bit more because salaries plus one more. That's where that increase is coming up.
Yeah.
So it might be closer to 90 if we go up 4%. Oh, and then so if everybody's good, I'll just run through directors like really fast and everybody can get out of the meeting quickly. But thank you both for that
Yeah.
because that's very helpful for all of us. So quickly, marketing manager, we interviewed a candidate last week. I'm going to spare you guys all the details and trying to get people here. I contacted 4 people, one person came to interview. So, but wonderful candidate, offered the position on Friday. We are waiting until tomorrow. Like we've been answering questions this week and tomorrow we'll have a response.
Cool.
If this candidate says yes, they should be able to start the beginning of November. My goal is to onboard for 2 months. I got no onboarding, so I'm definitely onboarding this person. And then January 1, handing it over. I'll still take a very large part in marketing. It's over half of our operating budget. So I'll still be attending a lot of those meetings and be handling a lot of our print ads until this person gets a little bit more comfortable with it. But cross your fingers and toes that this all works out. If it doesn't, we still have several candidates left. I mean, we had 14. So we still have candidates left to contact and I'm hoping to get this wrapped up. Right.
Any
It's been several months.
relocation that has to happen with this? Okay.
Awesome.
In fact, I think every single person who applied lives in Madison or very close.
Cool.
Or there might even have been a Middleton person there, but they're all right here. And so we had no relocation. We don't offer relocation money. that would be something that the commission would have had to have approved separately, which I was going to ask you about if we did have anybody from far away. So anyway, I will let you all know. I was hoping to be able to announce today, but I'll let you all know. Depot painting is the project is beginning. They've replaced the boards. They're going to start scraping as soon as it stops blowing. They're going to start Monday, but they're planning on working this Saturday as well. Tourism grant guidelines. After everybody approved that, I sent them off to the lawyer. He sent me back edits. I still haven't done that yet, but we will have it done before the end of the year so that we can start putting that together on the website and with the menu. And that will just be like, here are the new descriptions of what we're offering. I can't put too many, I can't put the final up on the website till I know what my budget is. Not because I'm going to put how much of money is on there, but if we have to cut certain things, it's possible, like meeting player incentives aren't going to be able to be offered next year if my budget gets cut, that kind of thing.
They usually leave yours alone pretty much. I mean, if you
last year they cut by like $38,000. I didn't find out. So that's why we didn't go into Iowa last year.
Oh,
I was in the process of doing that. So, and a part of that is a communication fail in our department, but Madison Area Sports Commission, one of the things that I touched on, which I will present on hopefully in November, I'll have data for you. I only just found out that there's this rollover account. So what has happened, and I think a lot of it happened during the pandemic, we approved grants, they sent an invoice, we sent the money, event was canceled, they held the money in an account.
the council.
Yes. And so right now, I'm just trying to go back and forth and figure out which events were canceled. I was recently informed we have about $35,000 in that account. And so it's too early to give you my formal recommendation, but I think what I'm going to suggest is we use that up and then start using our budget money. If I had known we had $35,000 this year, we could have used that instead of our budget and we wouldn't be quite so over budget, right? And so we'll talk about that. There's different reasons that I think they set it up that way, but everybody who was part of that decision is no longer here. None of the staff, none of the commission members, Corey didn't even remember that. So it predated him.
So does this roll over indefinitely, or is it now that the pandemic's over, they want you to use it within an X month?
They were suggesting that we keep rolling it over and saving it for big events that we
sure thing
tapped out for the year.
Yeah.
But I find that very difficult to track. Like technically it's our money, it's being held by them. How are we tracking? Not because I think that they're doing anything wrong, but on our side, doing department audits, which we should be doing once a year, I find that very difficult. And so that's why I think that if the money isn't being reissued back to us, then we need to start using it. Mm-hmm. But I want to do a little bit of research on it. Jamie is helping me getting together his data with his account so that I can update our records and just kind of figure out where we're at. Yeah. But the lacrosse thing, they suggested using that bucket for that rather than dipping into 23. So
moving forward on canceled events, will the monies be handled the same way or will it be reissued to us?
That is one of the things that we're going to have to discuss, because right now, the way it's been operating is they issue an invoice and then we paid it out before the event happened, because they're using that money often for transportation or marketing or rebranding, you know, the ice arena or something like that. So I'm going to have some suggestions about post-event reporting being done in a similar fashion as for tourism grants, just to add some more tracking. I don't believe that they have mismanaged a thing. I think that they have been actually taking on more responsibility than is their job. It should have been ours. And so I'm just trying to track it. And
well,
so
I don't think that when we approved something and it went to them, and I don't think we ever heard back if something got canceled. I mean, how would we know
in some of the things I have found, it said canceled because there's an Excel sheet basically.
Okay.
And some of them said canceled, like a few, but it didn't add up to 35,000.
Okay.
So I created an Excel sheet with going back to like 2013, based on anything I could find in SharePoint, and asked Jamie to fill in blanks for me. And then actually, I think I only asked for like the last 6 years. I was like,
Okay.
because I'm assuming it only goes back that far. Been in the pandemic for 3 years, but he said something about Val being part of the earliest decision. So that's like 7 years ago.
You're right around that time, yeah.
Yeah. So, but Corey doesn't have any memory of how things work. So what I'm saying is,
Hans might.
in November, I'm hoping to give you a little bit of presentation of how that grant is working, where we are money wise, and to ask for either permission to proceed with certain guidelines or your suggestions on that as well. I mean, we're redoing all of our grant guidelines, so why not cover sports too?
Yeah.
And also with the tracking, it's going to make it a lot easier for me to request an increase in money if I know exactly, like, here's the data from the last 5 years. These are the events that came, here were their room blocks, you know, this is how much we spent. And right now it's not all in the same spot. I can manually go back to every single one of our meetings and pull up the minutes with the grant requests, but I won't have the post-event report from that. And Jamie does have that. So right now we're just combining info. That will be hopefully quick and painless. Storage units, right now we rent 2 storage units. They're about $1,200 a piece. One of them, we store our visitor guides and a few other things in there. And then the other one is actually the cities. We are going to try to move everything from ours into our storage unit. Laura is working on getting shelving, and we're basically measuring it out. And so we can close down our storage unit.
When
The
you said
city-
move it into ours, you said.
We have a storage room in our
A
office.
storage
now.
room.
Mhm.
Yeah, on the other side of the conference room.
And so, and since we no longer order 2 pallets of visitor guides, we think we can do it. Once we get rid of that old desk. Anybody want a desk? We've got one and it's free.
That great big, that's the one that Val had commissioned, wasn't it? Or-
I know nothing about it other than it's the size of a small boat.
No one claimed it. It's
No,
very-
it's very
It's up for
nice.
grabs.
So-
I know.
Let me
We
put
are
out a few
paying-
feelers.
You should be in really good shape.
We are
They
going
don't
to
make them
pay,
like that anymore.
we are going to pay for the storage unit for the city for 2023 because they did not budget for it. And I just now realized that we are paying for the city's things.
What do they keep in theirs?
Holiday decorations.
All of the holiday decorations for downtown and all the banners for the city.
All the garland, all the wreaths. Yeah.
All the lights.
They're not that nice.
And so come January 1, we will pay that. We've been paying it for.
That
how
would
many
be a
years?
more of a CDA expense.
It is
Yeah.
CDA.
Yeah.
And CDA will take over ownership of the contract January 1 for their own storage unit. and
Nobody
then-
told us that. We did not agree to.
Well, let me put it this way.
Nice. Yeah, that'll be good information.
And this was Abby and I speaking just recently.
Yeah.
I said we're going to end the contract and put it in their name, and they'll have a whole year to decide how they want to proceed. But we'll pay for it.
Yeah.
And then they'll have a whole year to decide how they want to proceed. But I'm hoping to close ours out, and then we won't have any of this to deal with. It's one of the reasons we wanted to build a storage room, was so that we could stop having to go all the way to the storage unit every single time we need visitor guides. So those are basically my only real reports right now. I will send an email if we do hire someone. If we don't, then at the next meeting, I'll give you another report.
Hopefully you're hearing from her though.
Yes, hopefully you'll hear from me.
Can I give a plug for, we had the grand opening for the Stonehorse Green on
Yes.
October 8th, and Visit Middleton was recognized as a donor for the funding for fundraising, and there's a plaque, and they're recognized
Cool.
with that. So
Yeah, well, listen, I was there for the ribbon cutting.
were you?
Yep, I was all masked up. It was my first negative day,
Oh.
and it was a nice event. It was really
very
cold,
nice.
but it was really nice.
And I got to spend a little time with Julie afterwards, and Susan.
Oh, I didn't know they were there.
Yeah, they were, and they were getting ready to go to Italy. So
Oh, my goodness.
Nice.
And we also did a photo shoot. So we paid to have a photo shoot of Stonehorse Green, which we'll be using for the website and the visitor guide mostly. A lot of really good shots with visitor guide. And I'm going to give them to the CDA for their own promotional purposes.
Mhm.
I don't usually do that with professional photo shoots, but this is one where I thought that's a really good use of that money because they hired an event coordinator
Yeah.
to promote that space so that we would not be, we can't be in charge of that space. We used Ben Jones, who used to work for our old agency. He's now a freelancer. We got like 400 and some odd photos and they're good.
I just think that Stoner Screen is going to be the face of Middleton when they think of what shot you're going to take, and that's something that they'll do. And
Once it's
true.
fully done, it's going to have a lot of beautiful corners.
Yeah.
You know, when you're shooting this way toward the stage or this way toward the light installation, it's going to be pretty nice.
And Matt Stroh-Snyder is the event
Mhm.
person. He's coming up with a lot of creative ideas. It's kind of chilly and late in the year, but like Thursday night will be the David Boyd costume contest, and
They're showing Labyrinth, right?
yep, and other things. So it'll be
Pretty cool.
Great. So we want to
Get a motion to adjourn? All
yeah,
those in favor?
I
Aye.
look at us getting out